All right, what's happening, ladies and gents? Happy Saturday. Hopefully your day is off to a lovely start. Your Friday night went well. If it didn't, today's a brand new day. Put a smile on your face, click that thumbs up button, and let's crush some DFS, sports betting, year-long fantasy, you name it. Let's do it awesome.
Whatever you're doing, let's crush it.
Absolutely, guys. All right. As always, if you can hit the thumbs up button, it's always appreciated. We'll talk about our good friends over at Jazz Sportsbook today, guys. Don't forget, if you are a sports bettor and you want to give them a whirl, it is jazzsports.ag. Sign up, use the promo code 5PACK, and if you make that initial deposit, please let me know. You're going to have to tell me. I cannot see your name unless you know, so I can get you a free 5-pack membership. They've been around for over 20 years now, same-day payouts. Got a lot of great things happening over there. We had some good bets yesterday, and if we have time, we'll try to get back at that later on this afternoon.
Definitely, man.
All right, guys. Monthly people still getting the $20 rebate on month one. Sign up through the link to the website. Day passes are still available, but let's talk about today's plays, and let's start about cash game locks. As of right now, I'm looking at Derrick Rose. I think the guard spot is pretty strong today, so if you don't want to get here and you like somebody else, we got a few other guards we want to talk about. But as of right now, Elfrid Payton is doubtful. Derrick Rose is playing well. Back-to-back games with over 30. He could definitely play more minutes today than he did last game out. Knicks rolled on the Kings later in that game. My boy Alec Burks got hot. They didn't need Rose down the stretch of this game. I anticipate that in a close game, he'll play a few more minutes. Thibs loves him. He's shooting guard eligible, which is big. I expect him to roll into about 30 again today. Not going to break the slate, but he's still a good basketball player who could easily score 20 real-life points and roll into 30 DK points today.
Yeah, I mean, with Elf out, he's still too cheap at 5,300. You mentioned it. There's a lot of good guards on this slate, so tough to call him like a lock, but he looks like a cog in the machine, man. I hate to use that because I know we've played it out, or I've played it out over the past year or so, but he's just that, 5,300 in a game we expect to be competitive. You never expect him to play monster minutes, but he played 28 last night, and opportunity for a few more, like you mentioned. So a lot to like here at a very, very affordable price point.
He's more likely to play monster minutes now under Coach Thibs than he was under anybody else, but that's Coach Thibs just in general. You name him, he's more likely to play big minutes if Thibs likes him.
Unless it's a rookie. Yeah, exactly, if Thibs likes him.
All right, next up, cover board for the day, Anthony Edwards. So there's a lot to like right here. I don't find him as safe as some of the other guys we like from this game, but from a points per dollar perspective, we like this game a lot. What's not to like? I do think his upside on points per dollar is one of the higher players in the game.
Agreed. I mean, he's never a guy that you feel super safe with because he's a rookie. He definitely has his ups and downs. But in a game I know we both like a lot, he looks like the definite second best piece of Minnesota right now. Obviously, Towns is their guy. He's going to have the ball in his hands and create most of the offense himself. But Edwards is, he's played with Russell for the past year or so, but Edwards is one of the best offensive players Towns has played with, kind of a different dimension to this Minnesota team. And again, in a game that has monster upside if it stays close, which I expect it to, I love Edwards here. I mean, he's got easy 40-plus upside in that scenario if his shot's falling. I mean, he's never been bashful about shooting. I just think he's got monster upside in this spot.
Like, you're not going to get him at 1% today, but he's in that weird mid-tier where guys never get the love they deserve because DK refuses to price up studs, and there's so many cheap plays in the COVID era and just the modern NBA in general. These guys in the mid-tier regularly get ignored. And I think, again, he's going to today by what he should be. He's going to be double-digit ownership, but there's a lot of slates where he'd be higher owned if they would price up this. It's weird. I'm trying to break it down in a way that makes sense, but it's not coming out the right way. He should be higher owned than he's going to be.
Yeah, there's the value are affordable, and there's a lot of good value on this slate, which just makes it so it's a stars and scrubs type slate, which is how it's been basically every other day. Edwards isn't that guy. He's not a stud. He's not priced as such. So all the mid-tier guys kind of fall out of favor, and he's one of them.
All right, next up. Well, speaking of studs, there's a bunch of studs in good spots tonight. So pick your favorite. We're going to talk about Russell Westbrook. I absolutely understand if you like a couple other studs better, But if I'm looking for a high floor, high upside play, I like Russell Westbrook. And I'm telling you guys, there is going to be a monster game coming in his future. When I mean monster, I'm talking 70, 75. He's still getting those triple doubles pretty regularly. And one of these days, his shot's going to fall. He's going to be a little bit more assertive and aggressive. Again, 50 plus in 6 straight. This game screams upside if this game is competitive. And something that we talked about with the Washington Wizards, they're playing really good basketball right now. They've been really good to me lately, and I like what I'm seeing from them. They can't afford to not win all these winnable games. I know there's a lot of times you talk about teams coming home from long road trips, resting on their laurels a little bit. This team is not in a position where they can afford to do that.
No, it doesn't mean they might not a little bit. They certainly can't afford to. And I'd love to see a scenario in which like Washington got down early in this game. That would just make Westbrook's up. That's the scenario which he gets like the 75. I mean, he could get it in multiple scenarios, but that's, we haven't seen it as much in the past couple of years, but I know you remember my big night from using the Orlando guys. That was a spot where Westbrook came back, and that was when we used to love him because it wasn't that often it would happen. But man, when his teams would get down, he would just do everything. He'd start being like one of the best three-point shooters you'd ever seen. I'm so with you. Like the monster game is coming. Will be tonight, who knows? But it's such a great spot against Minnesota in a game that we've already gushed about. Man, I love Westbrook here. If I'm making one lineup, I can't imagine not playing him, to be honest.
Dude, not just for you, but for everybody listening. Only real DFS players who actually watch the games understand this. How you can literally root for somebody on your roster to miss a shot because it could be beneficial to how the rest of the game is going to play out. And how I really like these Wizards guys, I'm about to bring up another one after this. I love the idea of Minnesota being up 10 points at the end of the first quarter today. I think it'd be great for Westbrook, Beal, the guy I'm about to bring up next, everybody.
Agree.
So I was like thinking about this last night because I had De'Aaron Fox and, I'm trying to remember who it was from Detroit in my lineup last night. And it was one of those weird plays where the offensive guy could have been a charge. It could have been a blocking on De'Aaron Fox, or actually flip that around. But they called it a no call. And then your boy Holmes actually got the ball that popped out on a putback. Like only DFS players can watch games and see all those little things and just kind of understand how close it is for 3 or 4 points to swing in one direction.
For sure. Also, like how close so many games are to going to OT.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next up, let's talk about this Washington Wizards team one more time. Long shot of the day. Again, this is another guy. I don't qualify him as a long shot to play well. It's Rui Hachimura, but I think he's a long shot from his ownership today. I believe very wholeheartedly he will end up in the single digits for ownership today. I have been watching a ton of the Wizards lately. I've been betting on them. Like I said, they've been super good to me lately. And just like Westbrook, there is a monster game coming from Rui Hachimura. Westbrook will be significantly higher owned from Rui, but Rui has turned into their defensive stopper. He's their third best player. He plays big minutes almost every single day. No Malik Beasley today. I could also see the Wolves having a few extra turnovers as one of their main ball handlers is not in. The monster game for Rui is going to come when he ratchets up its steals and blocks for one day. Today's a great day for that to happen. He's a guy that you got to like his floor on a daily basis. But just like Westbrook, that monster game is coming. Will it be today? Who the hell knows? But I like the idea of it coming today. There could be a lot of guys in this game with GPP value.
Yeah, the great thing about Washington is their target tree, I guess is the best way. Their usage is so defined. You got obviously Westbrook and Beal, and then like the third banana is definitely Rui. I'm with you. Big game's coming for him. This is such a good spot for all these guys. I don't mind using all three of those guys in the same lineup. We talked about a game stack. Even if you don't want to game stack the game, if you just want to use all these Washington guys, I'm about it.
Yeah, Minnesota, I told you like a week ago, they've been playing some better defense for a while. They haven't been the last couple of games, but they're just a great spot in general.
For sure.
All right, next up, you want to call out your boy Ty Jerome. Look, it's a small sample size. I understand that. You understand that. We all understand that. But dude shelled out almost 30 points on 3K last night, so how could you not take a look at him today? On the off chance Shai is out, though, then he goes from long shot to probably big chalk.
So, yeah, if he's starting or something like that, I'm with you. We have to wait and see if OKC is resting anyone. But as of right now, no price jump because, the slate came out as of last night. And I'm with you. This is no lock for 30 DK points, but he's 3K. We talked about the value on this slate. He probably gets love, but maybe – I wonder how much love he gets if Shai's in. That's what I wanted to ask you because there's other good value plays that seem to be just drawing a lot more interest. What's your take on that?
I don't think he gets a lot of love.
Yeah, so I mean that just makes me like him even more. Makes it a true long shot. And I'm with you. Like I think that OKC is going to see what they have with him. He's a guy that had been in the G League, talented kid, was very good at Virginia. You saw kind of his skill set last night if you watched some of that game. And again, at 3K, the risk is minimal. I'm interested in some studs on this slate. We talked about him from the Minnesota-Washington game, and you're going to need cheap guys, and he works. I mean, if he does drop 30 again, like you're going to need him. So I like him here.
So I think you're actually missing one of the key points right here. Diallo's out. Diallo kind of, with Maladon in the starting lineup, like Diallo kind of runs the second unit. He's not there. This is Ty Jerome's job now off the bench to kind of be the distributor, the point guard. At 3K against a Denver team that doesn't play defense like it is in years past, I think he's got a great opportunity to maybe not replicate what he did last night, but to at least meander into 15 points with like real upside to do what he did last night.
Agreed. Like, because if he can meander into 15, which I think agreed, like he can easily meander into 15 more. So, yeah, I'm with you. Like, I like him here. So, glad we brought him up.
You know, he's not popping on charts as of right now. So I think a lot of people who didn't watch last night, which is, you know, still a lot of the DFS community, aren't going to notice what he did.
No, and the other point, and, you know, not that we expect this here, but in the off chance this game does get blowout-y, I mean, he will get all that run.
Sure. And why couldn't it? Every game in the modern NBA seems to have an opportunity to get blowout-y. OKC, again, they're the inferior team here, but they fight. I massively respect what they do on a nightly basis. We talked about this yesterday. Both the Thunder and your Kings won yesterday, but there is absolutely no reason that the Oklahoma City Thunder have basically the same record as the Sacramento Kings if you just looked at their roster.
Agree. I mean, yeah, couldn't agree more.
You know, so a lot of respect to this Thunder team for playing hard on a daily basis.
If you had to guess a blowout here, who would you pick blew the other team out?
I'd pick Denver to blow at OKC. They're just a lot more talented, but I stopped guessing on OKC getting blown out because they're just not very often.
They're not very often. Since that last Houston game, they haven't.
Yeah, they play hard every single day. I like Shai a lot. You know, he managed to keep them in. Horford's playing the dare. He's a nice, steady veteran voice and everything like that.
No doubt about that.
All right, guys. Good luck today.
Thanks, guys.